Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
Did you ever play past the junior varsity level of basketball?
Well, I got asked to leave the varsity team. So, yes, I did play varsity basketball, but I got asked to leave.
And why did you get asked to leave?
Creative differences with the coach.
And what kind of creative differences?
He thought that I was probably a little bit better at football, and they were like, we don't want to risk you getting hurt and taking your time, so we need to get you out to run track and play football. So they said it's probably the best thing for you.
DC ain't even make JV team. I love it.
I 100% did, and I was asked to leave. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there that know why and that can stay. It's not something we need to dig up.
It was fighting was involved, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You beat somebody. Basically, you bullied somebody.
I was a lover, not a fighter, and I have the daughter to prove it, you know. So
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? What is happening? Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is your man, Big B. We appreciate everybody being here, man. Thank you, guys. What's up? What's up? So, we are again live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. We appreciate everybody being here, man. So, thank you guys for showing up. We really do appreciate it. As always, remember, follow, like, subscribe, click the screen, whatever platform you are on. Please continue to do so. We got a lot we're talking about today, man. We're talking about that Knicks game last night. I thought it was a gritty performance by the Knicks. The Pacers think they're getting a raw deal. We can discuss that a little bit. I don't think it was near as bad as game one. Second, Jokic wins his third MVP in 4 years. Where does this put him amongst the greats as far as NBA players, NBA centers? And third, we've got the NFL power rankings. We're only doing a top 10, so, relax. We're only going to do a top 10 today. So, by the way, that's what we're doing. We're not doing a full 32 teams. We're doing a top 10 as the rosters sit today. As they sit today. So we'll get into all that and more. Again, if you like what we're doing, you appreciate what we're doing, thank you guys. There's a couple of different ways, and you want to support the show. You know how. Please click the links in the bio. You know exactly what to do. There's super chats. There are gifts. There are likes, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate it, man. Let's get to it. So, first things first, the Knicks last night pull off a gritty win. Good for the Knicks. And, Jalen Brunson goes out, doesn't play the whole second quarter. I'm not sure what's going on with this foot. He looked hobbled, but, Jalen Brunson is one of them players. Maybe you got to cut his foot off for him not to be out there. Maybe that's just what you got to do. But I know he was out there. I know he played a great game. But the Knicks in general played a great game. It wasn't just Brunson. He didn't go for 40, but he didn't have to. He got help. So the Knicks pull out game 2. Look, the Pacers played better, and the Pacers had their opportunities to win this game. Look, they threw out Rick Carlisle at the end of the game. Couple of calls that could have went either way. I get it. He's mad. But as everybody stated after the game, Rick Carlisle was mad about game 1. That's what Rick Carlisle was really mad about. He wasn't mad about last night. He couldn't have been. The calls last night weren't that egregious. Look, he's that upset about a double dribble call where the guy literally doesn't double dribble. I mean, I think that says more about the refereeing in the NBA than anything. How do you think a guy double dribbles when he doesn't? I mean, I just don't get it. And I know Rick Carlisle, he's losing his mind because he's like, well, wait a second. You give them the ball back, where in game 1, clearly our guy hits the ball with his hand, and you said he kicked it, and he didn't. How come nobody helped out then? So I get his frustration. I understand, but that's what he's mad about game one. Last night, the officiating wasn't egregious. In game one, it was clearly, but the Knicks won the game. Here's the thing with the Pacers. Don't let the Knicks shoot 57% from the field. How about you do that? How about you guard the Knicks and say, hey, we're not going to let you shoot 57%. How about you do that? Because that's on you. That don't have nothing to do with the officiating. That has zero to do with officiating. So it's always, I mean, like I said, you can be upset about the officiating in game one. I understand. It was horrible. But last night, you had your chances, and you just blew it. You couldn't stop the Knicks. That's the thing. You could not stop the Knicks. So that's what it is. Is the bottom line is Indianapolis, if you want to win this series, first of all, if you want to get back in the series, you're going to have to play some defense. You're going to have to play some defense. That's all that there is to it. The officiating wasn't bad last night. I'm not going to let you cop out. I let you use the excuse in game one because it was horrible. It was horrible. But you don't have an excuse in game two. Not to mention their superstar was hobbled. I mean, what else? What else? I mean, what else do you want? A good point by my man Houston. You were up 10 points and no Brunson. I mean, here you go. You're up 10 points. Their superstar is not in the game. And here's the thing. This is what I believe. If the Pacers were up like 18 points or 17 points at halftime, I don't even think Brunson comes back. I think they say, hey, man, nope, we're going to rest you for game 3. But because you allowed the game to be close at halftime, then they were like, oh, well, we got a shot. We'll go ahead and bring you back. I believe that with all my heart. If the game is getting out of hand in the first half, I think they say, you know what? They got us. You're not healthy. There's no reason to go out there and risk it all. But instead, the Pacers can't play any defense. And lo and behold, they get back in the game, and this is what happens to you. You have nobody to blame but yourself. Nobody to blame. And like I said, Rick Carlisle, him getting thrown out, that was all about game one. That was all about game one. He was furious. So he was furious. Here's another good point by my man Wakan. Rebounds are killing. Yes. Rebound the basketball, for crying out loud. Lord have mercy. How many times did we see Knicks getting second and third chances? I mean, just rebound the ball. Defend somebody. Oh, by the way, Rick Carlisle. Look, TJ McConnell has been your best defender on Brunson. He's been your best defender. I'm not saying he shut him down, but he has clearly been your best defensive player on Jalen Brunson. And you don't play him the last 7 minutes of the game? Can somebody explain that to me? The last 7 minutes of the game, no TJ McConnell. And not to mention what he was giving you offensively. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like I said, I understand the frustration that the Pacers are feeling. They feel like they're getting a raw deal. Now you're trying to get the public opinion in this. Well, Rick Carlisle coming out and saying, well, small market teams deserve a chance. And if he said all of this after game one, I would agree with him. It was horrible. Game one, the officiating. Horrible. Last night, that was not the case. That was not the case. You know, don't be crying to me about a double dribble call that wasn't a double dribble. And I know, yes, the refs came in and helped, and they changed the call, and they could have done the same thing in game one, but that was just as bad as this. It was just as bad. The officiating is horrendous in this series. I mean, Not just this series. It's horrendous for the last 5 years. Let's just call it what it is. Officiating in the NBA has been horrible for the last 5 years. Horrible. Not bad, horrible. And this is what you get. So this is what you get. Yeah, there you go, Austin. Perfect. Just like Houston said, you're up 10 with Brunson out. Pacers had to push the lead. Instead, they let the Knicks catch up. And it's your own fault. It's your own fault. I don't want to hear anything else, man. I just don't want to hear it. You had your chance. So you had your chance. So talking about Josh Hart deserves a lot more praise. Of course, Josh Hart is like the glue guy. I'm not going to disrespect him that way. He's the glue guy that's got a little bit more talent than what a normal glue guy has. You know, he can do a lot, and he does a lot. You know, he's the glue guy that does more things. He does a lot. Can score, can defend, is killing them on the glass. You know, that's Josh Hart. So somebody saying that the Pacers are trash, lucky to even be in this situation. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, they had a first-round series, and they beat Milwaukee. They smacked around Milwaukee. I'm not sure what you mean by they're lucky to be in this situation. And if Giannis was there, it wouldn't have mattered because you go back and you look at the regular season, the Pacers smacked around Milwaukee in the regular season with Giannis. So they're not lucky to be in the situation. They're just playing bad right now. I should take that back. They played bad last night. Game 1, they should have won. I'll give it to you. The refs took the game away from them. Okay. Or at least didn't give them an opportunity to win. I shouldn't say it took them away from it. They didn't give them an opportunity to win. Last night, you had your opportunities and you blew it. So that's on you. That's on you. So not a whole lot we can do about that. So them being trash and beating and having beat Milwaukee is crazy. Yeah, it is. The Pacers are not trash. The Pacers are not trash. It's at some point people just, I know, they say stuff and they think it's clever or they say stuff out of emotion, but the Pacers are not trash. Not trash. Are they the best team in the NBA? No. But to say they're trash, it's just, okay. Sometimes you just let some things go. So I'll let it go. But the Knicks, good for them. Good for the Knicks taking advantage of what they could take advantage of. So good for them. And because you're from Indiana doesn't mean that you know anything. I'm from Indiana too. So what does that mean? But because I'm from Indiana, that means I know that the Pacers are trash or they're not trash? No. It ain't where you're from. Stop that. Lord have me. What are you, 12? And if you are, please get out. Gee, many Christmas. That's not what we do, man. That's not what we do. But it's the same thing. Yeah, you're right about OG, Houston. OG's probably going to sit. So we'll see what happens. And without him, again, what did he have in the first half? 26 points or something crazy? I'm like, Lord have mercy. That guy's not a scorer. He's not a scorer. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And we'll see what the Knicks do game 3. More importantly, we'll see what the Pacers do in game 3. Are the Pacers going to fight back? That's the better question. Are the Pacers going to fight back? So, and yeah, Steelers almighty, good point. The Pacers are dangerous on any given night. They are. They were dangerous last night. But you got to defend. This is the playoffs. You can't just run up and down the court and try to outscore people. You got to defend. And allowing somebody to shoot 57% in the playoffs is crazy. You got to play better defense than that, man. So you got to play better defense than that. So, Ben, I don't know, my man. My man Ben Tatum's got a great statement here. Why can't two teams be good? It's like everyone wants the losing team to be washed or trash. And that's the young, the young. That's what the youngins will say. If 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 they don't like you, or if another team is better, you're washed. It's just like, what was it last week where somebody was telling us that Kevin Durant, oh, he's washed. I'm like, washed? The man averaged 27 points on 52% shooting. In what world is that washed? He's washed. Oh my God. What are we doing? Lord have mercy. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man. So what are you going to do? Yeah, Indiana's having some big mental lapses. Big mental lapses. And the head coach isn't helping. The head coach is not helping. That's part of it. The head coach is not helping. So, again, I know he's pissed off. I would be pissed off. But at some point, you got to let some stuff go. At some point, you got to let some stuff go. Let me set this back up here on this other site, man. I apologize. It's already messing with us. So, I appreciate y'all being patient. Again, if you are on this site that it just froze up on you, make sure that you click on the live link in my bio and come on over. It will not freeze up on you. So there's a live link in the bio. There's no freezing. Make sure you do that. Come on over, man. Come on over. So we appreciate everybody that's done that already. So, Yeah, Ryan, you're right. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. It's just people, look, I don't know. People feel like they always have to be heard. And being negative about something and just being way off base is a way to be heard. So that's what people do. Saying the Pacers are trash. That's just a way to be heard. So it is what it is. Pacers gave the game away. That's my personal feeling. The Knicks won. Don't get me wrong. The Knicks took advantage of everything that they needed to take advantage of. The Knicks did that. And what are you going to do? The Knicks took advantage of everything they needed to take advantage of. But it was bad coaching. You didn't have TJ McConnell in the game, and TJ McConnell was giving the Knicks the blues. And you take him out the last 7 minutes of the game, doesn't make sense. You're whining about a double dribble call. Just guard him. Don't worry about it. Because if he hadn't made the call, were you going to stop him on the other end? The answer is hell no. You hadn't stopped him all night. You know, you were up 10 when their superstar would look like he was hurt and wasn't coming back in the game. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, you got to play. You got to play. Good point by Darren Howard. Every second of that game was playoff basketball. Yeah, it was. It was. Go defend, man. Go defend. Make adjustments. Do something. But yeah, Rick Carlisle getting tossed out, that was all about game one. He was furious. He was furious. And he should have been. But you handle that in game one and then you move on. But he let it simmer over until the next game. And this is what happens. But congratulations to the Knicks. They won that game, man. They won that game. Good for them. Let's move on. Again, Big B Daily, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. If you're on a certain platform watching, remember, go to the bio and click the live link that's in there so that you don't get frozen up on. So Jokic adds another MVP to the trophy case. 3 and 4 years. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, think that SGA should have won it. I saw some stats, here recently before the vote was official yesterday. I'm not sure, man. SGA, he averaged 30 points on over 52% shooting and for a guard. And I know he gets a lot of his points in the paint. I get that. but he's also making a lot of jump shots, a lot of mid-range jump shots. 30 points. He's doing his thing. So it was close. It was close. But Jokic almost averaged a triple-double. But where does this put him? This is my problem with NBA MVP voting. Because the voters, first of all, if Jokic wins another one, I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if he wins another one. And it won't matter what his numbers are. It won't matter. And here's the reason why. Is because voters they vote based on historical stuff. Like, there is no reason that Michael Jordan shouldn't have, I don't know, let's say 8 MVPs. At least 8. But he has 5. Why? I have no clue. But he has 5. LeBron has 4. He should have at least 3 more. At least 2 more. At least 2 more. Larry Bird, same thing. He's got 3. Him and Magic. You could easily say they should have 4 or 5. But this is what they do. They base it off of it's almost like, well, we don't want to give you too many because we don't think you're the greatest player of all time, so we can't give you more MVPs than this other guy. To me, it's crazy. And I don't know. I think SGA, look, they always talk about the winning team. And, well, this guy on the second youngest team in the league was clearly the best player on the number 1 team in the West. That's my whole thing. I don't know. Somebody said that Jokic got it because of how Steve Nash got it. So maybe. I mean, in what world should Steve Nash have more MVPs than Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe? He's got the same number of MVPs that Shaq and Kobe do combined. In what world? And I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any argument that you're going to try to tell me that Steve Nash is better than them, because he isn't. So we all don't know the criteria. Most valuable player, or is it the best player? I think it's got to be a combination of both. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like SGA should have won it. I feel like he should have won it this year. I'm not mad that Jokic won it, but you watch. I'm telling you people right now, you watch. Hold your breath if you think Jokic is going to win another one. You think they're going to put him in that category? They're not. They're just not. They're not going to let him have as many MVPs as LeBron, regardless of whether he should or not. They're not going to do it. They're not going to let him have more MVPs than Magic and Bird. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. If you haven't heard that and you don't know, you heard it here first. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, it's good point here by my man Ryan. He says, why don't MJ and LeBron have more MVPs? Voter fatigue. Yeah. Voter fatigue is a real thing. It's a real thing. And look, let SGA have close to the same year that he did this year. Next year, I'm not even saying he's got to have the same numbers or better. Let it be close. He'll win the award even if somebody else is more deserving, because what they'll say is, well, he should have won it last year. Well, if he should have won it, why didn't you just vote for him? And that's why I get so sick and tired of these voters. So I just get so sick and tired of it. Oh my gosh. But that's a real thing, though. That's a real thing. Voter fatigue and the ability or I should say the lack of ability for people to want to be so nostalgic and just say, look, if Jokic is the best player 8 years in a row, then why doesn't he have the MVP 8 years in a row? Michael Jordan damn sure should have, but you didn't vote for him. Well, whose fault is that? I mean, you name me the year that Michael Jordan wasn't the best player in the league from, I'll just say, I don't know, from 1988 on. What year was Michael Jordan not the best player in the league? What year was that? The years he didn't play? Okay. Other than that, when was he not the best player? I'm just curious. But you didn't vote for him every year. And to me, it's stupid. It's stupid. You can hate LeBron all you want, say he's a flopper, say he's a crybaby. Fine. I'm not even going to debate that because that's not what we're talking about. But from 2000, I don't know, 10 to 2017, there wasn't a better player in the world than LeBron James. There just wasn't. There was not. And for you to sit there and act like there was, you're lying. You're lying. There wasn't a better player. But they don't get all the votes. And I don't care what anybody says. I'll argue this forever, till the end of time. There was never a time that Steve Nash was the best player in the NBA. Never. Not one day was he the best player. And for him to have 2 MVPs is absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. But remember, Phoenix was really good, and he was the best player on that team, so they gave him the award twice. Did they even make a finals? No. So how good was that team actually? I just don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it, man. My man Sideshow is right. SGA should have won 100%. I shouldn't say 100%. It's not like Jokic wasn't deserving. It's not like he wasn't deserving. I just think somebody else was more. So, Darren Howard thinks Jokic will have another one. I don't. The voters are not. And it damn sure ain't going to be next year. Jokic could average 100 points next year. He is not winning it next year. That is not going to happen. Just like last year. I was one of the people that thought Embiid should have won the award last year. But there were a whole lot of people that thought Jokic should have won it. Not going to argue that fact. But I knew and would have bet every dime that I had that he wasn't going to win it 3 years in a row, because nobody is going to win it 3 years in a row. Larry Bird did it, and they're not going to let anybody else do it. And I don't know why. And look, Larry Bird's my favorite player of all time. So he's my favorite player of all time. And what they do, the nostalgia that they keep for him on this award is crazy. So crazy. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, but that's the reason that Jokic didn't win it last year. So, but I thought Embiid should have won it. But there ain't no way in the world that I thought they were going to allow him. So, no way in the world. Let's go to some comments here. What does my man Austin have to say? It's the same reason Tom Brady has only 3 MVPs. No, that's different. That's different. Here's the thing. When it comes to the regular season, there are plenty of times in the regular season that you can say guys have played better than Tom Brady, especially early in his career. There were plenty of times that guys played better. In the NBA, it was different. Like, you can't just say that, oh, well, Jokic was better than SGA and Luka. You can't just say that because the numbers don't prove that. They all had great numbers. In those years that, like, Peyton Manning was winning MVPs, his numbers were so much better than what a Tom Brady had, what were you going to do? But when it came time for the playoffs, New England was better, and Tom Brady was definitely better in the playoffs. So, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. I love that you brought that up, though, Austin, because I know a lot of people say, but it's not the same. And we could actually look and see the difference. And you could watch on Sundays, and you could see, oh, yeah, Manning, he's crazy. He's going nuts. You know, Tom Brady wasn't doing that. That's the whole thing. He wasn't doing that. So, but that's where the difference is. That's where the difference is. You know, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I like Jokic. I think he's great. I think he's deserving of the award. I just thought SGA had a better case, but it is what it is. We'll see. We will see. My man Darren Howard says Embiid legit beat out Jokic last year. Wasn't voter fatigue. I disagree. And I just think it wouldn't have mattered what Jokic did last year. They were not going to give him the MVP 3 years in a row. They just weren't going to do it. They're not going to put certain people on pedestals that we hold these other players in such high regard. And look, I know this is bad to say, but it's the truth. Until some of these older voters aren't voting anymore, and we get some new blood that's actually voting, and this won't change until then. It won't change until then. But it eventually will. It eventually will, and we'll start to see some different stuff. But just put the best player. Stop with the nostalgia and wanting to keep a pedestal up there. And not to mention, it's your own fault. Literally, the voters, it's your own fault. There's no reason. And I know I've said Kareem, 6 MVPs, probably should have 9. Come on, people. What are we doing? MJ, in my opinion, MJ should probably have 10. 10 MVPs, yes, 10. The years that he didn't, those Washington years. In the 2 years he didn't play. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. Lord have mercy. He played 15 years. You can't tell me that he wasn't the best player in 10 of those years. You can't. But, so it's your own fault, voters. It's your own fault. It's your own fault. But let's move on, people. I don't want to get bogged down on that forever. Because we could. So, first off, again, Monday through Friday, Big B Daily, 9 a.m. Central Time. I appreciate everybody being here. And if you are on a platform that tends to freeze up sometimes, and I'm looking directly at you, please click on the link in the bio. And there's a live link in there where it will not freeze on you. Come on over, my man. Come on over. So now we are doing the NFL power rankings, the top 10 teams in the NFL as the rosters sit right now. As they sit right now. Things can change. And you know we're going to do this at least 2 or 3 more times before the season starts. So things could change. June 1 is right around the corner. There's going to be some more cuts. There's going to be some more guys let go. So let's look at the list. We're going to start at number 10. And we're going to go from 10 to 1. At number 10, we got the Cleveland Browns. And I know first of all, it pains me to put the Browns on there. Although the Browns think the Steelers are their rival, the Steelers don't think the Browns are our rival. Okay? That's number 1. So I apologize, all, Browns fans. I know I give you a hard time, and you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve the hard time that I give you. But that's just the way that it goes. I got the Browns. Look, the Browns defense is crazy. It didn't get worse. I think it got better. And if Deshaun Watson can play just decent, everybody wants to say, well, they were 4-1 when he was playing. Man, stop it, Browns fans. You know and I know Deshaun Watson played a half of good football last year. One half. That was that Ravens game where he was lights out in the second half. In the first half, he was terrible. But in the second half, he was outstanding and they won. If he can just play good football, he doesn't even have to play great. Just good football. The Browns got something, man. They got something. So, but they are number 10 as of now. Number 9, I got the Cowboys. And a lot of people, and I'll just say this, I'll say it out loud. The uneducated NFL fan believes that, well, the Cowboys are worse because they didn't do anything in free agency. Well, they didn't have to do that much. Look, the Cowboys are a good team. They just got a quarterback that gets into the playoffs that panics and a defense that was a little bit overrated that says, you know what, we get in the play, and they completely fell apart in the playoffs. So that's my thing. So I think the Cowboys are at number 9. I like the Cowboys. I like I said, I don't think they're going to win the division, but they're still one of the better teams in the National Football League. They're still one of the better teams in the National Football League. So, yes, come on over, man. Again, come on over. It's free. It's already frozen up 2 times. It's going to freeze up a third. Come on over. Click that live link, man. That's in the bio. But I think the Cowboys are still a good football team. And the 2 things that they couldn't do last year, they couldn't run the football with power. They brought back Zeke. Even though Zeke is a shell of himself, they brought him back, and he'll be fine. He is what they need. He's a compliment, so he's what they need. And then they shored up that run game. Now, the offensive line, we'll see. But the Cowboys are a good team. They're a good team. Number 8, and this one's going to shock a lot of people. I don't care. I'm standing on it. The New York Jets. I think the Jets did what they needed to do in the offseason. They've got veterans. First of all, let's start here. That defense is crazy. Okay? And they somehow, they win 7 games last year with Zach Wilson as their quarterback. Lord have mercy. If Aaron Rodgers comes back at 50% of what he was before, that is 10 times better than what Zach Wilson is. So that's number 1. Number 2, their offensive line is much better than the offensive line from last year. Number 3, they added more weapons. I'm telling you now, first of all, I think the Jets should be favored in their division. I don't know why enough people aren't talking about that. They should be favored in their division because you can't tell me that if this was last year and the Jets had the same roster to start the year, they would have been favored in that division last year. People are crazy. The Jets are going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I like the Jets at number 8. I like the Jets at number 8. Let's go to a couple of comments before we move on here. My man Pierre Land, what's going on, man. We love this guy. Thank you for coming back to the show. If Deshaun Watson can figure out how to get back to some semblance of his Houston self, the Browns can make something happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that year that everybody talks about him going crazy, I think it's overrated because they were 4-12 that year. So, they didn't win a whole bunch of games. But he played well, didn't throw a lot of picks, was pretty efficient, but they didn't win. But if he can figure it out and get back to a little bit of that, the Browns got something. The Browns got something. So, let's go to number 7. Actually, nope. My man Pierre Land's got another question or a statement. The Jets need a QB and they can win the division. They got Aaron Rodgers. Come on now. They got Aaron Rodgers. And here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers at 50% of what he was in Green Bay, if he plays 50% of that, then they would have won the division last year with the way that defense plays. So they got a quarterback. They're going to make it happen. In my opinion. And again, this is as of right now. Let's move on to number 7. The Houston Texans. Houston surprised everybody last year. Surprised everybody. Outstanding quarterback, outstanding defense, playmakers all over the field. And what do? They don't do what Jacksonville. Remember Jacksonville in 2022? Jacksonville did the same thing, surprised everybody, won the division a year before anybody thought they could, won a playoff game. And then Jacksonville decided in the offseason, you know what we're going to do? Nothing. And that's what they did. They brought in Calvin Ridley off of a trade and nothing else. They didn't shore up an O-line. They didn't do anything on defense. They didn't do anything in free agency. They did nothing. And they paid the price for it. Houston, on the other hand, said, nope, we got to get better. We're good right now, but we got an opportunity to get better. And that's what they did. In not only in free agency, on offense and defense, through the draft. Houston, number 7. And this might be low for Houston, people. This might be low. But look out. Houston is on their way. They're on their way. Number 6, the Philadelphia Eagles. I love what the Eagles did. Eagles said, our personnel on defense sucks. We got to get better. They did. They made a tough decision with Hassan Reddick. Then they replaced him. They had no secondary. Their secondary was trash. They're replacing them. The Eagles are trying to get back. And I think they will. I think they're going to win the division. I think they're better than the Cowboys. The other division is trash, Washington. Although Washington would be a little bit better, but the Giants, trash. So, yeah, I like what they're doing. I like the Eagles at number 6 right now. I like the Eagles. Again, don't blow me up. Don't blow me up. The bottom line is this is where we are as of right now. As of right now. Number 5, the 49ers. Don't care what you say. 49ers are going to take a step back. They're going to take a step back. A lot of turmoil, a lot of contracts that need to be redone. You know, sometimes that gets in people's heads. So, and we'll find out. We'll find out. You know, can Brock Purdy have a third season? You can't say that he didn't have 2. Well, he had 1.5. Can he do it again? Maybe. I mean, but I don't think it's just Brock Purdy thing. The defense. If anybody paid attention to the defense, they didn't stop the run. Now, I know everybody wants to blame Steve Wilkes, but that wasn't his fault. I mean, guys were hurt. Guys didn't play well, you know. And losing out on Greenlaw, him blowing out his, his Achilles in the Super Bowl? That's going to be an issue. I mean, that's a February injury. When's he going to be 100%? By the middle of November? Somewhere around there? And I'm not even saying he won't start the season. I'm saying, when will he be back? I don't think it's going to be until at least Thanksgiving, as far as 100%. So we'll see. So we will see. But let's move on. Number 4, the Detroit Lions. Yes. You got to give the Lions their due. You have got to give the Lions their due. They were good last year. They've upgraded. They moved up in the draft. They got aggressive in the draft. Said we need cornerback help. They did. They've addressed the needs. The Lions are trying to win it. The Lions are like, hey, man, we got in our own way last year from going to the Super Bowl. Let's not do that again. Let's not do that again. Dan Campbell got to take a break from trying to go for it on 4th down every time. Sometimes it's okay to punt. Sometimes it's okay to take a field goal. Don't be the new Brandon Staley. Okay? Stop the nonsense and go do your thing. Stop the nonsense and go do your thing. But I like the Lions. You know, y'all remember, wasn't it last year that everybody kept talking about the Lions, that they were trying to replace Jared Goff, and said that Jared Goff wasn't a good quarterback? You don't hear that this year, do you? You haven't heard that this offseason, have you? Only thing you hear about Jared Goff is extension. And I questioned it last year. I'm like, why are you guys in such a hurry for the Lions to get rid of this guy? I mean, he threw for over 30 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. I mean, what else are you looking for in a quarterback? And then he goes and does it again. Yeah, Jared Goff is fine. They're fine. They got the best offensive line in the NFL. They got two very, very good running backs. They got weapons on the outside. I'm just telling you. So the Lions, man, the Lions got something. At number 3, the Packers. I like the Packers. Them and the Lions fighting for that NFC North division is going to be crazy. Jordan Love, the last 9 games, there's an argument to be made, and I think it's a solid one. Jordan Love was the best quarterback in the NFL the last 9 games. I mean, the last 9 games of the year, you can easily say that Jordan Love was the best quarterback in the NFL. And people are going to say, well, what are you talking about? Go back and look. Didn't start off the year good. Did not. Started off shaky. Started off inconsistent. But the last 9 games, he got it figured out. And Lord have mercy, did he turn it on. Turned it on. So, but I like Green Bay. Again, another team addressed offensive line where they needed help. They addressed the defense where they needed help. I like, they got young quarterback, young receivers. I like what Green Bay's doing. Before we get to the last 2, go to a couple comments. My man Pierre Land says, Jordan Love is an early similar trajectory to Rodgers in his first few years. You can say that. I don't like doing that, but you can say that. You could absolutely say that. He's playing good. My man Lee says, maybe I missed it. You're telling me the Steelers are not in the top 10. No. The Steelers are not in the top 10. How could the Steelers be in the top 10? Not now. And y'all know me. I'm a diehard Steelers fan. There's no way the Steelers can be in the top 10 at this point. Look at their quarterback. Yes, their quarterback is better than the previous year. It absolutely is. The quarterback play is going to be better. But we haven't seen it. We got to at least see it. From all these other teams, we've seen. And if we're being honest about the Browns roster is better than the Steelers. It just is. Doesn't mean they're going to, because, again, we always sweep them. Or we always go 1-1 against the Browns. But let's just be honest. Let's be honest about that. So it is what it is. Let's move on. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. I think that's an easy one for me. The Ravens. It is Lamar Jackson. Look, this is tough because I'm a Lamar Jackson fan, but I'm a diehard Steeler fan. But Lamar Jackson is the guy. But at some point, Lamar, you got to get it done in the playoffs. That's the only thing missing from the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Playoffs. And I know a bunch of people say that's the only thing that matters. Well, no, it isn't. First of all, you got to get to the playoffs, don't you? I mean, if you don't play good and you don't get to the playoffs, then what will people say? That's the whole thing. I mean, that's why fans, it's just like, come on, man. The playoffs can't be the only thing that matters. Are the playoffs more important? Absolutely. 100%. But it can't be the only thing that matters, because if you play mediocre in the regular season and you don't make the playoffs, then you'll say, oh, they're a mediocre quarterback. Now people are saying that Lamar Jackson is a mediocre quarterback because they haven't been to the Super Bowl. What? I just don't understand that. You're mediocre or bad because, hey, you haven't been to the Super Bowl, so you're not any good. You're not any good. The only good quarterbacks have been to the Super Bowl. If you haven't been to the Super Bowl, you're not any good. I just, oh, my God. But that's more the young fans that say that. That's not fans that have a little bit of age to them or maybe a little bit of sense to them. You don't see those fans out there screaming that the only thing that matters is the postseason. That's what the young fan has been conditioned to think, that if you don't go to the Super Bowl, not, hey, you're in the playoffs, you play good in the playoffs. No. If you don't go to the Super Bowl, you are not any good. You're washed. You're washed. So, but Lamar's got to get it done in the playoffs. He does. That's the only thing missing. But in the regular season, he's been lights out, except when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have Lamar Jackson's number. The Steelers have his number. I don't know what it is. I think it's more the game plan. Now, last year, I can point to what it was. What they dropped, 3 touchdown passes? Yeah. Now, he made some bad mistakes. He threw an interception in the end zone, but they dropped 3 touchdown passes against the Steelers. So, but whatever. We beat you. End of story. Too bad, so sad. Bye-bye. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So, oh well. And then lastly, number 1 team, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs. Until somebody beats them, I'm not taking them out of the number 1 spot. Here's the only way that I'm going to take the Chiefs out of the number 1 spot. All year, they have to be eliminated from playoff contention. And what I mean by that is, I don't care if they win the division. I don't care if they're the wild card. The Chiefs are going to be in my number 1 spot for power rankings until they are eliminated from contention of winning a Super Bowl. Because we have seen what they can do with a mediocre offensive roster. They were still able to go win a Super Bowl. Can they do it again? We'll find out. We'll find out. But I'm not taking them out of that spot. I'm just not going to do it. We tried to do that last year, didn't we? When they kept losing those games in the regular season. The offense looked bad, and it was bad. Receivers dropping everything, smoking. And lo and behold, they picked it up, put it together, and went out and just won a Super Bowl. That's all they did. They just went and won a Super Bowl. So I'm not taking them out of the spot. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Oh, and by the way, the Chiefs got better. Yeah, their offseason, the Chiefs got better. They got better. You can say what you want about Rashee Rice, him not being there, and he was their best receiver, technical receiver over the course of the year, even though he started off the season shaky. But Marquise Brown is better than him. And I'm not a big Marquise Brown fan, but he's better than him. Xavier Worthy is going to be a lot better than what people believe that he is. Xavier Worthy is a guy that is not just, okay, just throw it as far as you can and he'll go run and catch it. He can do that, but he can run the entire route tree. He can run the entire route tree. And I believe that's how the Chiefs are going to use him. I just think that's how they're going to use him. Quick slants. I don't know a whole lot of dig routes because he's not big. Comebacks, over routes. There's a whole lot that Xavier Worthy's going to be doing. Whole lot. Post corners, flag, a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. But yeah, Chiefs got better. They got better. And it's frightening to see. It's frightening to see. My man Ruben says, Houston, number 2. I'm biased. I get it. Be biased, man. Be biased. There ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But they're not the number 2 team. They're not the number 2 team. But, and you maybe you missed this, Ruben, because you probably just got in. This is where the power rankings are right now. And we're going to do this at least 2 or 3 more times before the season starts. So in 3 weeks, it may be totally different. In a month and a half, it's more than likely going to be different. So this is just where we sit today. Down the road, Who knows? Who knows? But this is where we're at. Would you guys like it? Dislike it? Let me know. Let me know. Anybody you think needs to be moved around? Somebody you guys disagree with? KC got better. Scary. Yeah, it is. It is. They got better. And I think everybody's worried about their left tackle. I don't think the Chiefs are worried about their left tackle. I think Wanye Morris, who they drafted last year, I think they love him. And not to mention, he played good last year when he got his opportunity. He just got hurt and got a concussion. I'm not positive he wouldn't have kept the job had he not gotten a concussion and gotten hurt moving into the playoffs. I'm not sure that they would have went back to Donovan Smith. I'm just not positive of that. I'm not. So we'll see. So the Chiefs are going to need a new RB1. Why? Why? I mean, what? Pacheco's not going to be there? Why do they need another one? And even if they do, we've seen the Chiefs win, 3 Super Bowls with 2, 3 different running backs? So they can find one. To do what they need to do, they'll find one. They will find one. Man, Sideshow. Have a great day, fellas. About to walk into this school. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time to be here, Sideshow. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. But yeah, man, these are the rankings for right now. These are the rankings for right now. So we got Kansas City 1, Baltimore 2, Green Bay 3, Detroit 4, 49ers 5, Eagles 6, Houston number 7, New York Jets number 8, Dallas Cowboys 9, and then rounding out the top 10, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns. Subject to change. Subject to change. But what is today? The 9th of May? This is where I sit. This is where I sit. So I appreciate it. We're going to shut this one down for today, man. I appreciate everybody being in here. Thank you, guys. We will be back tomorrow. Again, as always, thanks for the support. We love you guys. I appreciate you guys showing up every day. Tell a buddy. Tell them to come do the same thing. We appreciate it. We love you guys. Aloha.